people think that. I don't know why. I mean, it could be just because the quality of the camera is just blending things together.
Oh yeah, video codec. Yeah.
It could be just something similar to that, but I think that's why people are saying that there's a brown filter there. I don't think that's what it is. I think it could be more the blending of the colors because of the video.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that's what it is, because if you look at his hair and the woods, they kind of just flow right in together eventually. And same with his feet at certain times. You can't even see. It just kind of starts to blend right in with the bridge. Yeah, it'll do it. It'll start over now. Yeah, see, he's even got his jacket, that one button right there in the middle, buttoned up. Okay, so he's got the jacket buttoned. I don't know. I mean, I always thought that maybe he reached into his jacket with his right hand. Also, he could have reached through the top and pulled out the gun from there.
Yeah.
I don't know, which is what we had our guy on the reenactment do, was stick his hand in under his jacket and pull it out as if it was a holster underneath his arms here. But it almost looks like, I mean, they have circled that specific area right there on his pocket and his jacket right there in that position at the very end there. And it kind of does resemble the shape of a firearm, but why would it be there? I don't know.
Have you been on the bridge before, this actual bridge?
Oh, I've been on this bridge. Oh, no, not before the crime. I didn't even know.
No. Before it was redone.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
How wide are those rail ties or wood, whatever they're called? That's on.
Oh, the rail ties? Okay, so that's a very difficult thing to judge because they're all different, because it's so old. Some of them have broken away. They're all broken away in some way. Now it looks like they are 8 inches, 8, you know what I mean? So it looks like it's 8 by 8 or 8 by 12. Sorry, I think.
Because this shoe doesn't really cover. It doesn't look like his shoes are covering the entire tie. Meaning this guy has some smallest feet.
Yeah, so they're 8 inches across, 10 inches down is what they're supposed to be. But in that area, they're all buttered up next to each other.
Because it doesn't look like his foot. It's hard to tell, obviously, but it doesn't look like his shoe is like wider than the railroad tie or longer than the width of the railroad ties of 8 inches. Looks about the same, which would give this. I don't know what that means in shoe size. Interesting.
Yeah.
I used to have some old railroad ties in the back of at my old house that I had put in front, and yeah, they're not that wide across. So this all tells me this guy here is a smaller dude.
I would hope that anything that they can present, would a jury believe that guy is short is the question.
I think you would be able to do some sort of test to figure that how tall he is based on the width of the rail ties or the height of the one that's going long ways across.
Right. Yep.
You would think that they would be able to. And I mean, if you look at his pants, like you can see where it's cuffed up. They're folded up. Look at the bottom of his pants. That's not an indication.
He's got longer pants.
Yeah, that's not an indication of somebody who's tall. That's an indication of somebody who's short. His pants are cuffed up at the bottom. You can see them. They're folded upwards or outwards.
Look, his
shoe size is a small guy, man. Yeah, like this is a small dude. You can tell this is a small guy on the bridge.
You know what? And I think that's now you can. Back then, I couldn't tell that.
Yeah.
I was blinded to it, dude. Like staring at that for 7 years. There's so many things that change your head. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, because I assumed he was taller just because they're little girls. You know what I mean? Right. I think that was just a thing because they're little girls. I would assume that they are smaller than him. And that clouded my judgment.
Yeah. This tells me this is a chubbier guy. Short and chubby guy, because typically when you're a little bit on the heavier side and you have to get, size 36, 38 or whatever, they come with a certain length to them. You know what I mean? And this, for him to have to fold his pants up like that tells me that they're a little bit too long for him. They look a lot baggier they look pretty long on him.
Yeah, you can tell because it almost like comes down below the heel a little bit, or not below, but like, it pulls down on his heel right there on that one.
Yeah, but you can see it, right? The discoloration right there above the shoes where his pants are folded up.
Yeah, that's like white. It's like even more like washed out collar.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a small guy. That's a small dude.
Yeah, and he's got. I think they took the Timberlands. I think that's maybe what he has on. These boots that he had that they took.
A lot of people were saying. Like somebody goes 7 years later now. BG is short now.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never. This is the first time I covered this case. I didn't look at it until after Richard Allen was arrested. So I'm looking at it with some fresh eyes. I'm sure that if I looked at it back in the day, I probably would have said he's small too, because you can tell by his waist. Look at where his waist is and how much his pants are rolled up. and where
Well,
his waist is at, those pants are way long on this dude.
Here's where I thought we screwed up, dude. I thought we screwed up. So me and a guy named Matt Sullivan and his girlfriend and a friend of mine that's also on YouTube, the Captain Howdy, did a test where we made that video a transparent where we could see through it.
Yeah.
And we went out to the actual crime scene location with the camera and we set down my Canon camera and we set it up on a tripod and we found and we lined it all up to where everything fit, every little branch and tree, we lined it all up and then walked out there. Now I'm 5'9" and I walked to that location. So basically it would be me and him transparent with each other. I was taller than him and we came out to be at 5'6", and then we found out that we were 2 inches off, which brought us down to 5'4", which we both said something was screwed up. We did it wrong. And we dismissed it completely as it's not even right. You know what I mean? Because I thought that we were totally off. And I wish I still had that video. Matt may have it. Matt Sullivan, he's usually on Facebook. He's not on YouTube anymore, I don't think. But
yeah,
it was
interesting.
Dismissing it was the problem.
Well, when the prime suspect is 6'2" and your hypothesis shows up somebody who's about a foot shorter, most people are probably thinking, I think I did something wrong.
Yeah.
So I get it. I mean, I understand, but just looking at this from right here, I can tell that this person has little legs because of the way their pants are. How much they're folded. Like his knee is bending above where the knee should bend in the pants. You see that? So
right
his knee should be where that pant is designed for the knee to be bent. It's a little bit further down. You can see where it's kind of like there, and you can see where his knee comes up over where that spot is at. So, these pants are way too big for this guy. I mean, if this dude was 6'2", how long are these pants? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
were these pants for like Shaq or something like that? Because now these look like these are probably 36 by 34, and this dude, or even 36 by 30. If he's 5'4", those are gonna hang long on this guy. You know what I mean?
I see it now, and you know what? It took a long time to figure all this out.
Yeah.
Maybe
time. He wore bigger pants on purpose. Yeah, I mean it's possible, but I mean you're what are you getting? Where are you getting these pants at? If you're 6'2" to get them that much longer than your height. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
These would have to be sense. Right. And if you look at these pants, they don't like once you get into like some bigger sizes, like for instance, Ron Logan, he looked like a heavier guy. If he got pants that were this baggy on him, they would be like 44s, 42s. And when you go up into that size, there would be like a huge bulge at the top because once you get to those sizes, that's what happens. And it would not look like this. This looks more like somebody who's wearing pants that are just a little bit too long for him at the most part. Yeah. You know what I mean? And my thing is if you're finding pants that are too long for Ron Logan, I mean, there's only a few places you can find those. And if you're not finding those type of pants in his house, then you might want to go check stores, the Big and Tall and stuff like that, and see if anybody bought pants for somebody 6'5", because these look like they're a few inches too long for this guy. You know what I mean?
Especially,
and then
if
that's
a t-shirt, big.
Right. I mean, everything look at his arms. Look at the arms. Look at how scrunched up that is on his arms, on the jacket.
Yeah.
This is a small
right there
guy.
Between his forearm to his elbow is like just all crunched.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like when I'm standing here, it doesn't do it like that. You know what I mean? Like here's a couple wrinkles there from bending, but that's like really scrunched up like this.
Yeah. Yeah, that looks like a scrunchie for somebody's hair. So, I mean, that's really scrunched up. There's nothing in here that is screaming somebody tall. This is screaming somebody really short to me. I mean, if that brown, whatever that is, if people think it's a fanny pack, if that ends up being a t-shirt, how long of a t-shirt is Ron Logan getting for it to be that long on him that he's 6'2"? I mean, where is his clothes coming from?
Yeah, I wouldn't see Ron Logan having anything like that. So, because Ron's the guy, he would tuck his shirt in.
Well, not even that. I think that when you have somebody that tall, you're probably having other problems with pants. Pants that aren't long enough, jackets that aren't long enough. Not the opposite issue where your arms are too short or your legs are too short for your jacket and stuff. I don't know. Then again, I mean, I've been trained to look at things like this, so it's a little bit easier for me to see things and point them out.
Yeah, and I think that, me being just like so involved with it so early and just like so not just involved with it in a true crime aspect, but like this is where I'm from. You know what I mean? Right. So it's like I was like just I guess more clouded with my judgment on thinking on things and more, bias in my decisions on some things because I was almost positive that I knew who the killer would be one day.
Mhm.
And I didn't. He fit my profile, but I didn't know it was that guy.
9 times out of 10, when you have a case and the killer is unknown and the case goes longer than a couple of months or at least a month and a half, 9 times out of 10 in those situations, the person that ends up being the killer is somebody that we've never heard about. Brian Koberger, everybody was looking in that case. Oh, it was one of the Jacks. It was Jake. It was Jack. It was Tom. It was somebody from the Sigma Chi. And all of a sudden, Brian Koberger gets arrested and everybody's like, who? Same thing here with Richard Allen. Who's this guy? Nobody even knew who this guy was. And usually that's the case because if it was somebody that we could have figured out based on the information they had, police would have figured it out based on the information they have, plus more. You know what I'm saying? Granted, there are times where us content creators can help, and that's usually when there's like an active current missing or persons that you're looking for, like in the Gabby Petito case.
Yeah.
When people were looking for her, that was recent. That wasn't something that was years old or any of those type of things.
Yeah.
That was in the moment. So those are the type of things that we probably would see a lot of help from, unless we have like a phone show and somebody calls in, then that's a different story.
Yeah.
But in this scenario here, the fact that it took so long to find somebody, the less likely it's somebody from the inner circle.
Yeah. And that's what I immediately thought was like, man, it took forever to find this person. I started to even doubt that the person, lived around the area, anymore. I mean, I thought that they were familiar with the area and had lived there, but I was starting to think, man, this person has just gone by now for sure. I mean, the person they arrested, he didn't leave.